Look at Ethan today. He is one of the youngest project managers at a massive engineering firm, calling the shots from a corner office. He recently hit a major personal milestone, paying off all of his mother's lingering debts and buying her the comfortable home she spent her whole life dreaming about. The cycle of poverty in his family is officially broken. If you looked at his life from the outside, you might assume he caught a lucky break, a massive inheritance perhaps, or a winning lottery ticket. But his success began the day he rejected a sudden windfall. Building lasting wealth often requires walking away from immediate, unearned gratification. To understand how this works, we have to go back. Ethan was 17, walking home from high school in the freezing rain with soaked shoes and a worn-out backpack. His mother was working 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads, and even then they were drowning in unpaid medical bills. That's when something out of place caught his eye. Right there on the quiet sidewalk, completely abandoned, was a black leather bag. He picked it up. It was unusually heavy. Inside were bundles of cash, neatly stacked together. $10,000 in crisp bills, sitting next to a single business card with the name William Carter. The street was totally empty. No one had seen him pick it up, and no one would ever know if he kept it. That money could erase his mother's debts overnight. They could pay rent on time, afford dinner, and put something away for his education. This is the integrity trap. Life rarely tests our morals by taking things away from us. Instead, it tests us by suddenly dropping an unearned abundance right in our laps when no one is watching. That night, Ethan shoved the bag under his bed, but sleep was impossible. The air in his small room felt incredibly tight. He was lying inches away from a life-changing amount of cash. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw his mother's exhausted face. The friction was agonizing. He could relieve her suffering instantly with the money sitting right beneath him. Then a memory surfaced. His mother used to tell him that while they didn't have money, he must never lose his honesty. Her exact words were, "Money can be earned again. Character cannot." The hardest moral decisions are finalized in total isolation, in the dark, long before any physical action takes place. By sunrise, Ethan's internal battle was over. The next morning, he took a bus across town, arriving at the address printed on the business card. It was the towering, immaculate headquarters of a highly successful construction firm. The contrast was immediate. Ethan, in his worn-out clothes, stepped into the pristine lobby holding an expensive leather bag. The security guards eyed him with heavy suspicion before finally agreeing to call the owner down. A few minutes later, William Carter rushed into the lobby looking absolutely exhausted. He had accidentally left the bag on the roof of his car the night before. Inside that bag, alongside the cash, were confidential documents for a business deal worth millions of dollars. The stakes were far higher than Ethan could have realized. Ethan quietly handed it over. Mr. Carter opened the bag and checked the contents. Every single dollar was there. Every document was completely untouched. Stunned, Carter immediately offered the teenager a $5,000 cash reward. Ethan politely shook his head, explaining that he didn't return the bag for a payout. He returned it because it simply wasn't his. Genuine integrity operates completely outside the bounds of transactional logic. It cannot be bought, it cannot be leveraged, and it does not seek compensation. Carter couldn't stop thinking about the teenager. A week later, he tracked down Ethan's small apartment. Seeing the family's brutal living conditions firsthand solidified a decision in Carter's mind. He engaged in silent sponsorship. There were no press releases, no media interviews, and no public announcements. Carter simply stepped in to alter the trajectory of Ethan's life. He paid for Ethan's entire college tuition, he bought him a top-of-the-line laptop for his coursework, and he granted him direct corporate access by bringing him on as a summer intern at his construction firm. This diagram maps out the compounding return of that single honest choice. The central node, integrity, rapidly branches outward into 3 distinct pipelines: education, capital, and access. Over time, these pipelines weave together, compounding to form a solid, permanent outcome: generational wealth. Moral choices often construct invisible networks of human support. The value generated by the trust and access of those networks drastically outpaces the fleeting value of any short-term cash grab. Which brings us back to the present day. Ethan graduated with honors and climbed the ranks to become a highly respected industry leader, steering major engineering projects. Years later, a reporter sat down with him for an interview and asked a simple question: "What was the exact turning point in your life?" Ethan smiled. He told the reporter that finding $10,000 on a rainy sidewalk did absolutely nothing. Returning it changed everything. The ultimate metric of a person's future is not defined by what they manage to acquire. It is defined by what they have the courage to walk away from when no one is watching.